Katherine Legge is about to attempt something that could either become one of the coolest moments of the entire NASCAR season or one of the most brutally difficult days we've seen a driver take on in years. And honestly, the wild part is this isn't just about racing anymore. This is about pressure, legacy, endurance, and proving that you belong in two completely different worlds of motorsports on the exact same day. Because while everybody's talking about Kyle Larson doing the double the last couple of years, now you've got Katherine Legge stepping into that spotlight as the first woman ever to attempt it. And I'm telling you right now, fans are rallying behind this in a huge way. You've got people lined up outside her garage at Indianapolis Motor Speedway just hoping for a picture, an autograph, a moment with her before one of the biggest days of her entire career. That tells you something. This isn't just another crossover story. This feels bigger than that. And here's the thing, attempting the Indianapolis 500 and then flying straight to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 sounds cool when you say it fast. But when you really break down what this means physically, mentally, emotionally, it is absolutely insane. We are talking about 1,100 miles of racing in one single day. Stick with me, because this story gets even crazier. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. So, Katherine Legge is heading into this weekend carrying a ton of respect from inside the garage area already, and honestly, that matters. Because racers know racers. Drivers understand what other drivers are capable of better than anybody else. And according to Legge herself, some huge names in motorsports have been reaching out to support her through this whole process. Kyle Larson has apparently been helping her prepare. Tony Stewart gave her advice. Other drivers have been checking in constantly. That tells you this effort is being taken seriously. Because the double is not some gimmick. People hear about it and think it's just a travel challenge. It's not. The physical toll alone is ridiculous. Different cars, different handling styles, different race strategies, different mental approaches. You go from the absolute intensity and precision of IndyCar racing at Indianapolis to the chaos and brutality of a 600-mile NASCAR Cup race at Charlotte. That is a complete reset for the body and the brain, and Legge knows it. She straight up admitted that the weather situation has her nervous. Rain forecasts around Indy could completely throw off the schedule. And once that happens, the entire logistical plan becomes chaos. Flights, timing, preparation, everything changes instantly. But what stood out to me was her mindset. She basically said, look, we committed to this, we're doing it. That right there, that's racer mentality. No excuses, no backing out, no panic. And I'm just going to say it straight. I think a lot of fans underestimated how tough Katherine Legge really is. This is somebody who's raced in IMSA, IndyCar, NASCAR, endurance racing, basically everything. She's done Ironman competitions. Her team owner, BJ McLeod, said she has the biological age of a 25-year-old. That's how seriously she takes conditioning and preparation. And honestly, that matters more than people realize. Because fatigue destroys drivers, especially late in races. Now imagine climbing out of an Indy car after 500 miles at Indianapolis, jumping on a plane, flying to Charlotte, climbing into a stock car, and immediately battling through another 600 miles against the best drivers in NASCAR. That is unbelievable. And let's talk about the NASCAR side of this for a second, because this is where things get really interesting. Legge admitted she barely has any experience on 5-mile tracks in NASCAR. She only got 28 laps of practice at Charlotte. 28, that's basically nothing. So now you're asking a driver to tackle one of the longest, toughest races on the NASCAR schedule with limited track time after already racing the Indy 500 earlier in the day. That's a massive challenge. And here's why this matters for NASCAR fans specifically. Moments like this are good for the sport. I know sometimes NASCAR fans get defensive about crossover attention, but honestly, this is exactly the kind of story that brings fresh eyes into the Cup Series. Fans from IndyCar are suddenly paying attention to Charlotte. Casual fans are hearing about the double again. People who may never watch NASCAR are now curious about the Coca-Cola 600. That's valuable. And let's be honest, NASCAR needs big personalities and compelling stories right now. It needs drivers doing ambitious things that make people stop scrolling and pay attention. Katherine Legge attempting this as the first woman ever? That's a headline people care about. But the pressure is enormous too, because fair or not, if something goes wrong, people are going to talk. If she struggles in Charlotte, critics will jump all over it. If weather ruins the schedule, people will question the attempt. If there's a mistake, social media will magnify every second of it. That's the reality of modern motorsports. But honestly, I think Legge understands all of that already, and the advice Kyle Larson gave her might actually be the smartest part of this entire story. He told her to enjoy it, because drivers who attempt the double all say the same thing. Something always goes wrong. There is no perfect day. Tony Stewart basically told her the exact same thing. You cannot control everything. You just adapt. That mentality might honestly be the only way you survive a challenge like this. And I'll tell you what, whether she finishes both races or not, whether she contends or struggles, the respect level for even attempting this should be incredibly high. Because very few drivers on Earth are willing to put themselves through this kind of challenge anymore. That's why fans are lining up outside her garage. That's why the industry is supporting her. And that's why this weekend suddenly feels bigger than just another race weekend. So now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Katherine Legge can successfully complete both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600? And where would finishing both rank among the toughest accomplishments we've seen in motorsports recently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another NASCAR story right here on NASCAR Nation News.